This video contains spoilers, but also it doesn't. If you have not seen Endgame yet, you don't want the spoilers, only watch until 3 minutes into this movie. Movie? What? This is not a movie. This is a YouTube video, which is why it's not 3 hours long, like Endgame. Cassidy Quinn. Hey guys, it's me, Cassidy Quinn. I'm gonna start with no spoilers and warn you before I say anything you don't want to hear, okay? Ah yes, the time has come for Endgame. Yes, there have been 22 Marvel movies leading up to this moment. I saw it on Thursday night at 8:45 p.m. Not at midnight on Friday morning, even though Friday was technically opening day. I don't understand how you can see the movies so early now. It's almost as frustrating as the fact that Black Friday deals now start before Thanksgiving dinner. Anyway, let's talk Endgame. Do not worry, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not about to tell you everything. This is a safe space. Unlike anywhere in the world, when the snap happened, not safe. Speaking of safety, let's just lay out the ground rules before we get into this together. I am not a comic book expert. I am not a Marvel movie expert, an Avengers expert. In fact, I've seen maybe 8 of the 22 movies. So I'm coming at Endgame not from the perspective of someone who knows every single comic, has read everything, knows every single character, knows every movie that has ever happened. Okay, I'm coming from a person that thinks it's very entertaining, enjoys going to see these movies, hasn't seen all of them, but was very excited about this one. And now I want to go back and watch any of them that I've missed. What I like about all these movies is that you don't necessarily have to have seen all of the movies leading up to the one you're currently watching in the theater or on your couch. That said, if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War and you are going to see Avengers Endgame, watch Infinity War. I saw Infinity War when it came out in theaters last year and loved it and was left feeling like, excuse me? And honestly, I should have watched it again before going to see Endgame, because there still were a couple of minutes right at the beginning of Endgame where I was trying to wrap my head around, okay, wait, where exactly are we? What exactly is happening? Just trying to remember where we're starting from. So yeah, if you haven't seen Infinity War, do it, or you really won't have any idea of what's going on. So, general thoughts. I loved it. At the end of Infinity War, my heart was, I don't even know if you could say broken. It was not feeling so good. Yeah, that one was a real downer. Endgame, not so much. I mean, obviously, like there's people that have to live, there's people that have to die, obviously, so not everything's gonna be amazingly perfect. Overall, I thought this movie really did a good job of balancing some happy moments, heartwarming moments, sad moments, scary moments, action-packed fighting moments, because every good superhero movie has to have a lot of those, but also a lot of comedic personality fun moments, because those are my fave. Also, since so many things had to happen in this one movie, it is 3 hours long, by the way. I don't even know if I remember everything that happened in the movie. So like if I tried to sit here and tell you every single spoiler, I couldn't get to them all. It's 3 hours, and it's an action movie. It is action-packed. Because so many things happened, I left the movie immediately wanting to go back and see it again. But since I didn't have a ticket to immediately see it again, I just went home and started Googling, watching other people's reviews, reading theories about it, reading what happened in the ending, and just trying to get it all to soak into my brain. Action-packed, emotion-packed, celebrity-packed. One thing Endgame left me feeling was, holy crap, movie casting is so important, and they did such a good job. The fact that over 10 years ago they cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Paul Rudd is Ant-Man, which, don't get me started on the fact that Ant-Man is a thing. He's just so tiny, and then so big. Sorry, I just saw Ant-Man like a week ago. Still haven't wrapped my head around it. Like, there's so many big names in this movie that I don't even know how Google decided what order to list them all in. Chris Evans, Brie Larson, movie. I can't even say all those names in the same breath. And all of them are just so perfect for the role that they're playing. So, casting people, great job. Speaking of Brie Larson, I want to be Captain Marvel in my next life. That was a thought I had while watching this movie. I would love to be Captain Marvel because she has so many amazing powers. She's just a total badass, and she can just save anyone, do anything. Realistically though, if I were to be a superhero, should I just say realistically and superhero in the same sentence? I would be Black Widow because, you know, she likes to change her hair up all the time. I get you. Don't know who my favorite Avenger is after seeing this movie. I thought it was Quill, big Chris Pratt fan, big fan of the Marvel movies that are a lot more comedy based than just a lot of fighting and violence. Don't at me. I also loved Thor. In this movie, really loved Thor. Also loved the Hulk. The Hulk is like a new Hulk in this movie. I'm not gonna say anything more than that, but I was very entertained. But also, I love all the ladies. Girl power! There are so many amazing female characters in this movie and amazing female actors in this movie, and at one point, there's a lot of them like teaming up together, and it's cool. Like I said, Captain Marvel. Wanted to see more of her in this movie though. I guess I'm just gonna have to go watch Captain Marvel again. I watched an interview Ellen DeGeneres did with Brie Larson and Scarlett Johansson a couple days before Endgame came out, and it was very entertaining hearing from Brie Larson about how she shot Endgame before even shooting Captain Marvel. So all of the people on the set were like, oh, what are your special powers? And she was like, I don't really know yet. I've never been this character before. So for me, it was very entertaining thinking about that while watching Endgame. Of course, without seeing the movie, you probably guessed people die. And there's a death that happens, well, it just kind of surprised me that it happened at the time it happened. I don't know, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything on accident. The last spoiler-free thing I will say here is that you're probably going to this movie thinking, wow, Thanos has the Infinity Stones, the snap happened, half of life is now over. The surviving Avengers are clearly going to have to figure out a way to save the world. So then you're thinking, how are they gonna do that? Maybe you have an idea in your brain. Maybe you think, oh, there's no way they could do that. That's not possible. Just remember, you're in superhero land. Anything is possible. So now, here's your warning. We are going to talk about spoilers now. Just the whole premise of the movie. That the Avengers can go back in time. They figure out time travel and it works. And then now are we expected to believe that Black Widow is actually dead? That Gamora, the old version of Gamora, just like does not exist? That never existed. Now we have a different Gamora who doesn't remember Quill and everybody else in the galaxy. And Iron Man's really dead. Well, we expected Iron Man to be dead because contracts are a thing. But like, who's to say the Avengers can't go back in time again and change things again and get the other version of Gamora and decide somebody else to get rid of to get the Soul Stone back? Well, to get Black Widow back and then swap for the Soul Stone with somebody else's soul. It's all very confusing to me. Yeah, I guess to me, the idea of just letting them figure out time travel, go back, get the Infinity Stones before Thanos does, and change the outcome of the universe, it's a little unrealistic. But we are talking about superhero movies, people. I mean, people, superheroes, whatever you are, aliens, raccoons. So there were a few points during Endgame when I found myself getting a little too logical and having to remind myself that yes, I'm watching a superhero movie. Like when Iron Man is floating around in the spaceship and then all of a sudden this blinding light appears out of nowhere and ta-da! Captain Marvel has saved him! I was like, what? That's too easy. She couldn't just find him. No, she can just find him like that because she's Captain Marvel. So yeah, like I said, after watching Endgame, I'm now having a very hard time deciding who is my favorite. Like I said a couple minutes ago, Ant-Man is so ridiculous. The fact that somebody came up with the idea of a man that could turn into a giant ant or a little tiny ant, it's so funny to me. But Ant-Man got to play a big role in this movie, and I can't get the image of baby child Ant-Man in the ant spacesuit thing out of my head, and it's hilarious. I just love that the most ridiculous superhero that probably anyone could ever think of got to actually do something very important, like save the world. But also Professor Hulk, I was so entertained. I've never really felt like I could relate to the Hulk And I couldn't even relate to Professor Hulk because I'm not like that, but it just made him much more human and so wonderful. Also, besides just the general entertainment value, I liked the fact that Bruce could take his brains and his brawn and take the powers of both to make him the best version of himself, and that's just a great life lesson. Thor being the dude. Basically being the Big Lebowski minus the dude jellies. That would have really put it over the top, but that was really funny. I guess I haven't really been following Chris Hemsworth lately. I have not like seen on Instagram that he gained a bunch of weight for this role, so I was not expecting that. I loved dude Thor. However, I also felt bad for him because it seemed like everyone was just making fun of him for gaining weight, and really he was clearly going through some stuff in his brain and dealing with alcoholism, and I just felt bad for him and wanted not to laugh, but also he was funny, but they were mean. I definitely was expecting a post-credits scene in the movie because since I haven't seen every single Marvel movie, sometimes forget that you're supposed to stay after the credits and there's gonna be an extra scene. So this time I was like, I'm gonna stay, and then there was no extra scene. Which makes sense because everything came to a beautiful, happy, sad conclusion, and that was it. Roll the credits. Run a respectful montage for those who have died. Speaking of those who died, that funeral. Number one, beautiful. Number two, holy cow, there were so many people there. Like so many celebrity, hero, Marvel Universe people. While I was watching that funeral, the main thing I was thinking was, I wonder how much each of those cast members got paid just to show up for one day of filming. To be in this movie for like 3 seconds. They probably got thousands and thousands of dollars. So okay, maybe I can't be Captain Marvel in my next life, but can I play Captain Marvel or just be somebody that plays like a tiny little superhero in my next life? It would be so fun and so cool to see yourself on a big screen like lighting up things and lighting things on fire and causing lightning and blowing things up and doing all kinds of crazy things and flying through the air or being invisible or just all the powers. I don't even need to have the powers. I just want to see myself have the powers on screen for like a second. Is that too much to ask? So that death I was talking about earlier that surprised me, yeah, Thanos, excuse me? What is that, in like the first 2 minutes of the movie? Definitely did not see that one coming. Also, thank you Marvel for not like showing the slicing of his neck as it was happening. I liked getting to watch Thor, right? They just showed Thor's reaction and the other characters' reactions because I don't need to see that even though I know it's all special effects, but still, ugh. Also, lots more deaths towards the beginning of the movie because Jeremy Renner is just like killing everyone. Since this happened so early on in the movie and then never got brought up again, I hadn't really thought about it until my coworker friend Destiny Johnson, who runs another YouTube channel called KHW Comic Pick of the Week. Shout out to Destiny for number one, being the only person at work that the morning after I saw Endgame could actually talk, and I just spent like an hour talking to her about all the things, and she was reminding me about what happened in the movie, and I was talking to her about all the craziness and how I felt, and yeah, we unloaded on each other. But Destiny pointed out to me that, yeah, that never gets talked about later. Yeah, basically, Hawkeye decides to deal with his inner demons after the snap by being the demon and just starting to kill all the bad people in the world. Just, excuse me? I hadn't thought about that. Destiny, thank you for bringing me back to reality where you can't just go around killing people and then nobody deals with that. Also shocking to me, the fact that we just basically immediately jumped 5 years into the future and then everyone was just sad for a while. This movie definitely made me feel like the superheroes were also humans, seeing them be sad and deal with stuff from their past. It was nice. It was relatable. It wasn't just the dying scenes that tugged at my heartstrings though. You've got Tony talking to his dad, Thor talking to his mom. Oh, didn't think I could fall more in love with Thor, but I did. Also, as I admitted towards the beginning of this video, I am not coming to this movie knowing every single thing, seeing every single Marvel movie. So therefore, during some of the points when they went back in time, I didn't necessarily know the moment it was referring to, but I also didn't feel like I didn't understand what was going on because of that. I was still able to follow it through. But will I get a Disney Plus subscription for like 1 month and watch all the movies I've missed? Probably. Okay, I think that's it. I think I've Avengers assembled all of the thoughts in my brain that are there that I wanted to say about this movie. there are so many points throughout shooting this video at which I thought to myself, no one wants to hear this. Why am I just rambling on and on forever about this movie that if you're watching this, you've already seen, so you already know these things. Yet somehow I keep watching more and more and more of other people's reviews. So I might as well stick my own out there. Anyway, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was epic. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. It was sad. It was tear-jerking. It was all of the things. And it seemed to really wrap up a lot of loose ends for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm sad for the characters that died, assuming they're really dead. But I'm excited that Thor's still alive, Quill's still alive, Captain Marvel's still alive, Black Panther's still alive, because oh my god, they killed him so quickly. Twice. Like, thought he was dead in Black Panther, then he was dead in Infinity War. Thank goodness he's not dead now. It seems like Thor is going to join the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Please? So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you sat through this and 3 hours of Endgame, high five to you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed Endgame. Of course, let me know in the comments below what you thought of Avengers Endgame. Clearly, I enjoy talking about it, so let's continue talking about it in the comment section. Make sure to click that subscribe button and that little bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And I will see you guys next week. Bye! Wow, this way of ending a video seems so not cinematic. Can I get like a big hammer sound effect or something?